Folks, hello and welcome to Tavern Chat. As you can likely tell, I am away. If you've watched this channel, you know where I'm at. I am in the Poconos. Woohoo! Get to rest, relax, get away from the city. It's a beautiful thing. Quick thing, there's a DCC, Dungeon Crawl Classics, Mega Bundle. The link is at the bottom of the screen. Shortened, it is Tenkar Tavern.com. Sorry. Oh my God. Tenkar Tavern games/DCC. If you go there, it's a humble bundle link. You can get 74 titles for $25 plus a 20% off coupon at the Gibbon store, and you help support this channel. So, I am going to start with something that's not the topic. I am going to quote and then expand upon the quote of FDR, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. I think it's appropriate for what's going on at large, not just in the world, but in our community. And he once said, I ask you to judge me by the enemies I have made. I am going to extend that to, and by the friends that I have kept. So judge me by the enemies I have made, certainly. Certainly. Because there are certain voices out there that, oh my God, really getting close to illegal action type of situation. But we'll see. I got to consult. But these are the enemies. These are the ones that talk flat out lies. Why? Why? I ask you that question. Maybe you can answer it. But that's not today's topic. Today's topic I thought about because, I'm a man of habit. So I could come up to the Poconos from New York City and drive the same route, and I have done that numerous times. But now I take out my phone and I plug it into Apple Maps. And Apple Maps sends me a different route almost every time. Now it's all the same solution. Gets me to the same spot. But each of these different routes, upstate New York, Palisades, 80 to 15, sometimes little maneuvers within that, are all there because the mapping AI, the mapping artificial intelligence, is trying to find the quickest route, the shortest route time-wise, in real time. Traffic happens over here, it's swapping stuff out. It reroutes you. Sometimes you overrule it yourself and you go, you know what? I know a better way. And maybe you do, maybe you don't. But when we design adventures, especially ones that you are looking to publish, whether you're distributing it for free, pay what you want, you're putting your own shingle out there kind of and hoping somebody comes buys it for a few bucks. You're trying to sell your work to a company like Frog Guy Games or Goodman Games or maybe a smaller third-party publisher. I'm not going to talk about TSR and Pathfinder. But you need to understand something. You design an adventure for your use. You know in real time. If your party zigs when they should have zagged, you know how to adjust. You'll adjust on the fly. You won't even realize it's not what you wrote when you start making changes. Now, why is that? Because you know that the party starts out at point A, somehow has to get to point C. You know it. And if you're running the adventure that you wrote and prepared, and you suddenly go, oh, damn, they can't get past that one door. I fucked up. You'll add something in, right? It's your adventure. You know all the ins and outs. But when you're writing for others to use it, you have to allow for rerouting. You have to allow for, this party only has one low-level thief, and they failed their open locks roll, and nobody brought a crowbar. Let them improvise. Let them find a crowbar. Let them get away to get that door open, because there has to be more than one solution. Now we've heard this for years, right? This was a big thing a couple of years ago. Always, when you write your invention, make sure there's multiple solutions. Make sure that there isn't only one way that it's going to rely upon a random roll. Or, well, the party couldn't find the secret door. They never looked for it. You don't want that either. Don't ever. You can hide treasure, certainly. You can hide the big ass treasure. That's fine. But the climax of your adventure, where the big bad evil guy is, or where they find the solution, or where they rescue uh, the fair maiden, or the gentry, or whatever the goal is, there has to be more than one path to get there. Not everybody thinks like you. You write an adventure because your mind is thinking like you. When you write an adventure for others to use, you have to think like more than just yourself. You got to step out of that zone. You got to widen your reach. You've got to become omnipotent, godlike. But you got to think on that level when you're writing the adventure. And you got to say, oh, if they can't get through this way, then there's a secondary way that they can go through the sewers. Or there's a tertiary way that they might think of. Give options so that one, oh, your thief got killed. Well, now how are you going to get that door open? Don't do that to them. It's not fair. Especially if you're running a convention scenario, right? If people paid to show up at a convention, maybe they actually paid specifically to play in your game, and you don't want to TPK them in the first half hour. You want to give them the opportunity to get to the end. Like, I always write adventures for conventions where I have a small extra level that can either get shoved in between if I need to stretch things out, like, oh, they're going too fast. Throw this in to slow things down and buy a little time. Or if it's going real slow, know that I can remove stuff to make sure they still get to that same ending place, or have the opportunity at least. Because if you're on a convention game, you don't want time to run out before they can get to the big bad evil guy. You got to plan appropriately. I've got a convention coming up. I've got ChireCon in a couple of weeks. I'm running Swords and Wizardry Light. I got to plan appropriately. The party cannot be stuck because of my bad planning. Okay? And if they do get stuck through their own bad planning, you have to be willing to work with them to find a way out of that. Work with them. Don't work for them, by the way. Don't work for them. So just some words of advice. And again, as I said in the beginning, judge me by my enemies and judge me by my friends. I think I've done pretty well on both. On both, it kind of weighs out pretty well. I think I'm ahead of the game. All right, folks. On that note, I'm in the Poconos, so I don't know what we'll talk about tomorrow, but it should be interesting. I know that when we get to Wednesday, we should have a special guest, maybe a special announcement. It should be pretty cool. Definitely OSR related. I'll leave it at that. Other than that, be safe, be well. God bless. Roll those dice, roll them well. Another video tomorrow. Be good. God bless. Laters.